Hi, this is Professor Brew, and I'm getting ready to do a demo on subtractive or reverse drawing. In your sketchbook, you're going to be doing some subtractive drawing. So all the little sketches that you're going to do are all going to be using the subtractive or reverse method. However, I think it's a really good technique just to use in any drawing. I'm using graphite here, but don't worry, it works just the same with charcoal. So what I'm doing is a little cross-hatching method here. So I'm shading in one direction, and then I'm using a cross-hatch. And just so that you can see, this is my model right here, my little skull. I have a couple of different erasers. I've got a kneaded eraser, and I've got a plastic eraser. Now, a plastic eraser is really great because you can use it as a drawing tool. I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm just going to take a little piece of this plastic eraser right here. Yeah. And then I'm going to sharpen it down to a nice point. I like to sharpen them down to a point like this and use them as drawing tools. I don't really erase that much, but if you're erasing to get rid of something that you don't like or isn't working well, it's really not a good state of mind for your drawing because it's negative. I'm looking at my little skull here. I'm going to use my bigger part of my eraser to take away a large area. So you use a large brush for large jobs and a small brush for small jobs. So this is really just a basic shape that I'm putting in here, and then I'm coming down here for the jaw. So it almost looks like a little bit of an egg here. Now I'm going to take my sharpened eraser and I'm just going to start refining my shape. So I'm really drawing with this eraser. I'm being very careful to look at my angles. On this side, the zygomatic sticks out further. And you want to remember that from other videos, if you need to turn your page instead of turning your arm. Now I'm just going to refine this edge. There's that zygomatic as it comes up, goes into the brow bone, the forebone, goes back to the occipital and the parietal. Occipital, parietal's at the top. Okay, this is the back of the skull. I don't really see that other zygomatic on the other side, creating kind of a silhouette look here. And then there's my chin. You can see that I've got a nice little silhouette of a skull. If I want to lift a little bit more here, and come in and lift more where the light areas are and come across and get the more of a zygomatic going, the nose, and you can start to kind of see the little grayish areas in here. Okay, and then I can come in and I can add back, so it's kind of an additive and subtractive method, I guess, if you will. Down here. This comes, see, this is straight across from the other one. This one is in shadow. There's the nose and the eye socket. And then there's the eye socket on the other side. And then underneath the nose, which is in shadow. Okay, I'm being very careful to look at my shapes. So this is a good exercise to kind of teach you to look for shadow shapes and the shapes of light. So what I'm starting to get now is a nice little skull, look of a skull. Now I just want to check my proportions here. And this is shaded in here. And shaded. All right, so that is one method. Now, I'm noticing that the light is sort of coming from this direction. So the interesting thing about that is usually the lit side is going to be a little darker and the shaded side of the object behind it is going to be a little bit lighter. And I want to get this going in here a little bit. Here we go. So now I've used kind of a reverse drawing to get the image that I want. Okay, so now I'm going to do another one. So here I've got black ink rectangle. And I'm going to use a white charcoal pencil or a white color pencil. I use Prismacolor color pencils, and I use General Charcoal charcoal pencils. I'm ready to draw the skull again. So I'm going to turn the skull a little bit, something like that. What I want to put in is the light areas, and I'm going to do my little silhouette first. You notice I'm filling as much of the bounding box as I possibly can with my composition. I'm just putting in the light areas and leaving the dark areas. I want to take away some of this. Okay, so that you can really see there's the lighter area here. You can see that starting to come out. Brow bone and the zygomatic or the cheekbone as it comes down to the teeth and the maxillus and the mandible, and then the chin, and it comes up for the jaw here, and zygomatic here and here. Then there's a little bit of brightness back here, but not as bright as here. So now I'm thinking about the values of the white. You know, get really bright, a little bit lighter here, dark here where that nose is. You notice I'm not using any line, I'm just looking at the shapes. And you kind of have to trust it, but the top of the nose has a highlight to it. Okay, and this is really cool, by the way. I really, really enjoy doing these drawings. I'm making sure that I don't make this lower than this. It's straight across, but on an angle. And then it goes in like this toward the orbital. And I've got this back here. Bright, bright, bright here. Nice hard light. Reflected light back here. Reflected light down here. And shadow, cast shadow here. Teeth here. Now I can go back in with my ink if I want to and create some darker areas and make these places pop back here. But there's no real like black. And then this is coming around here. That is basically two ways to do a reverse drawing. You can do a lift. You can do a lift. Look, it's here. This is lifting and subtractive. And this is reverse. You're basically starting with dark instead of starting with a white piece of paper. Remember how I said that on the side where the light is shining, the background part is probably going to be a little darker. So I'm just firming up these edges a bit. Okay. And then I'm going to give myself a little bit more real estate. I just feel like the chin's a little crowded. Bright, bright. Notice that the brightest bright is not on the edge. Okay, it's just a little bit away from the edge. Just adds a little more depth. So I hope this is helpful to you. This is what you're going to be doing in your sketchbook. I think you're going to be doing rib cage, also hand, and skull. Okay. Yeah. All right. Hope this has been helpful, and I'll see you in class. Bye.